And we are live. I am Ronnie Harris of the Limitless Channel, and I'm here tonight on the Awake Souls channel with Jason Laufenberg of the Awake Souls. How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you doing?
I'm all right. It would be better if we were in the kingdom, but we're not. So we've got to cover topics. So tonight, what a topic! Why don't you lead off, brother, and share some of your thoughts with us?
Oh, hoax wars? Yeah, it'll be, this is my least favorite thing to talk about. So political, it's a absolute grind for me to talk about political. Then when you go geopolitical, and then when you go the Holy Land, like this is like, I never paid attention to it. You did. And that's one of the great things. We've got Ronnie in here as really an expert on this topic that so he'll be able to give you the full backstory, what to look for. He's the one that clued me in on a whole bunch of this because I didn't pay attention to who was who, because I had never really cared before. I understand that this is the promised land that was given to Abraham and that all these people are going to be wiped out. So I never devoted much attention to who they were and what their roots were and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we've got that to go through. I would just like to do a quick shout out to everybody that has been paying attention to the moon. And so our last hangout was talking about this gap of days that we could have gone with no moon, no moon, no moon, no moon, no moon. So we got some confirmations of a waning crescent on Saturday. And I gotten up, tried to check, got skunked by clouds coming in, and somebody else had caught it. So we had Saturday as a confirmation. I've heard no confirmations from anybody regarding Sunday whatsoever. And it's nice that we're going live tonight. This is the 12th. So tomorrow is on the calendar that is in the spreadsheet that we've been going through and sharing and stuff like that. Tomorrow is the day that is the expected new moon sighting. Now, we did go through Stellarium and see that there's a possibility that tomorrow may not be a new moon sighting and that would be on the 14th. So just everybody's eyes on that, because based on the results that come in, we'll be updating the calendar to reflect the new moon sighting, and we'll look at how that shakes out, what that means, and we'll go through it together. There's other headlines to go through, but I guess the main thing is this stuff that's going on over in Israel, and that's your specialty of topic. So maybe I could throw it back to you, brother, and you can give us your history getting into truthing and what you've seen and what analytics you are taking out of all of this.
Okay, so this is not the first time that I've danced with this subject. So I don't know if everyone that's tuning in right now, if this is the first time you've ever heard of a conflict going on between the Israeli people and the Gazan people, right? So this has been happening for a long time. It's basically how I actually got into the truther movement, because I was like super into the scriptures and doing all this stuff, finding all these extra canonical books here online. And I stumbled upon a group that was live streaming during, I believe this one was called Operation Protective Edge. So I'm going to be going through some names of different things that they've titled the script as later on tonight. I'm going to explain to people what I saw, what we went through. Basically, this is just like the same as the last show. It's just this show. They almost use the same headlines, the same tactics. I don't know if people on the other side of the screen, hi to everyone in the chat. Super shout out to you guys for putting down your comments for everyone to see. Hi to all the lurkers. Welcome. This is Team Yahawahashai. Thank you, Jason. Thank you to the moderator, Yahweh's daughter. And all glory to the Father in heaven first and foremost, and his Son, who is our way to salvation. But now that that's out of the way, oh, and if everyone hasn't repented, we skipped Sunday. Could be a good time to repent tonight. Maybe after the podcast, you can get right with every mistake that you've made. Again, now that's out of the way. If anyone, I don't know if you could do it, Jason. I don't know if anyone in the chat can do it, but what I'm interested in is there is a name that's been given to the operation that's taking place right now. I don't have it up here on my tabs. I don't know if anyone can pull it up. It's 2021. This is an operation something something in Gaza. Israeli operation. I need the name or the article link, but what I can tell everyone is if you've been watching, what you've seen is basically fireworks. Right, Jay? We're going to be talking about fireworks tonight, which they're calling rockets. You've seen flares.
So,
go ahead.
As far as the fireworks are concerned, we got a comment from Jerry Albert regarding the fire that was on the Temple Mount. So that was earlier this week. And we saw that right away, and we were excited, and all of a sudden we were going to cover it because we thought something was going down. But as soon as we took a look into it, we could see that it was really badly psyoped. It was a tree on fire, and these short little clips. And so we were disappointed. We didn't go live. There was nothing to talk about other than to call it out as a psyop. So I guess what we'll be doing is we'll put that all together. Maybe we'll bring up some of the fire things as we're covering the rockets too.
Yeah. I've got a look in our stream, the Genda or whatever it is, Gender Free News or whatever he goes by. He's been covering it nonstop, promoting the propaganda. So again, what people on the outside see is like, okay, there's riots at the Temple Mount, right? Oh, riots at the Temple Mount. Now there's fires on the Temple Mount. Next thing you know, leaders of the Hamas are now killed, right? So then the Palestinian people are supposedly outraged, right? So they start shooting rockets. Get this, some claims are up to 39 miles away from Gaza, supposedly. They shoot these rockets off. Now keep in mind, the city of Gaza in Israel is basically completely walled off. Right, if you pull it up, you can pull up the link, walls from the Gazan city, and you'll see the whole city is walled in. And if you leave the bay, if you go too far out, the Gazan people fishing, boom, they start shooting shells at them, blows off in the water. And if they get out too far, they'll blow up the boat. They'll take it down. So there's nobody that gets in or out. So supposedly the narrative is that the Ayatollah for Iran has smuggled in somehow rockets that are able to be launched and guided by people that live in a slum. They're able to do this, and they're able to travel 39 miles to Tel Aviv and a different distance to Jerusalem, right? But we've seen right through this thing. I was in a group called Occupied Air. Back in 2014, I was doing this research, and I found inconsistencies in the stories. I found looped footage of different destructions where they were trying to make it look like it was continuing to happen. I even talked to people in Gaza. Like, I was thinking about going as a journalist. I was contemplating it. I was told no by the people around me that, is this a good idea? They were like, no. So what I ended up finding was that the people leading Hamas were actually like educated and trained in Boston universities. They were taking orders. It was all scripted. It was all staged. Sure.
Kabbalists. Sure. So when you say Boston universities, you're talking about Jesuits. You're talking about Kabbalists. You're talking about the same religion that's practiced with the people that wear the tzitzis and go pray at synagogues and domes and all that kind of stuff. It's all Kabbalism, right?
Yes. Kabbalism, completely. But what you have, excuse me, it's dry air in here. So what you'll have is you'll have flares. You'll see flares, or they call them like phosphorus bombs, right? Hilarious. We had the Maxi and don't lose your phosphorus, right? So they have these things that sparkle down, light up everything. They drop like flares that light up the certain sections of Gaza. They are destroying buildings, right? So I watched this over and over. 2014. It happened in 2012. We'll go over the links later. But so they destroy certain parts of the Gaza city, right? Now, whether or not it's to rebuild, I don't know why they're doing it, but my hunch is that this is a larger psyop because when you drive around, if you listen to Christian stations on the radio, sometimes they're good. They still do read scriptures. There's some things that I don't agree with, but anyways, you'll find that all of the different American Christian channels on the radio are talking about this siege. It's the biggest thing. Everyone's talking about it. They've got so much attention on this fake, staged, scripted hoax war. War is a hoax. We've been saying that for a long time. We're going to continue to say it, and we're going to show evidence. So they carry people around. They do their crisis acting. Sure, people do get hurt. Sure, they're blowing up buildings. They're doing all kinds of things. And then there's this huge narrative where they have two sides. Okay, I'm giving everybody the complete my download to you. They have two sides. You have the people that are, save the Palestine, save Palestine, save the Palestinians, and then you have the other side who are like, kill them. They have the whole other Levant. They can go to Jordan. They can go to Egypt. They're just like, this is God's chosen people. This is their land, right? It's in the Bible, they say. That's the one argument you got. And they take a scripture from the Old Testament that thou shalt not, curse Israel, or thou shalt be cursed. So they take that and say, you got to worship who these people say they're Jews, right? They say they're the people that belong to the promised land and they are inhabiting it, supposedly. When in the scriptures we read that anyone who comes to you and professes to be a Jew is not. That's what Paul wrote. You can check me on my words. Now, they're occupying the land, and I think that they're running huge psyops. Right? If Iran wanted to attack Israel and they had some kind of weapon to do that, because we don't even believe in the rockets that they show, it's just nonsense, they would do it. They wouldn't use a proxy, somehow smuggle in bottle rockets. So what the research ended up showing, like I said, that the Hamas infiltrate into Gaza. They become Gazans. They become leaders of terrorist organizations they call Hamas. Israel gives them the fireworks. They shoot those off. They film that. Israel then shoots their fireworks. They film that, and they put it up and say that they're being attacked. And the most absolutely disgusting thing is that they terrorize all the people worldwide. They send out these poisonous ripples of, like, especially people who are invested in the scriptures, and they love the truth. I know there's not a lot, but there are people out there, and then they see the promised land, and they're finding all these people are supposedly being like starved to death and poisoned and murdered and just aimlessly shot at. Like, there's so many stories, right? Now, there is racism. Jason and I, we have that. Do you want to chime in here before I continue?
Just that what we'll be going through is our standard debunks of psyops, and we're going to show the imagery that they're showing. And as we go through the imagery and look at it together and actually analyze what's there, what's not, whether or not this is rational, whether or not this, seems legit, it's all going to be up to each individual viewer that sees the evidence to come to their own conclusions. But I think as we go through it, you'll find out that they really don't try to make this stuff come across as real. It's really like cartoonized. When you do the search results, you get these results that you're like, this is supposed to be the evidence. And yeah, supposedly, yes. So we're going to be going through that. Rockets, I mean, we are the anti-rocket missile guys. We know that there is a such thing as like what model rockets do. Ronnie used to shoot model rockets, right? You have that in your background.
That was my hobby when I was 13 years old. I built and blasted off rockets, right? I built this launch pad, and you had the key switch and everything, and you put the battery in, and then the size of the battery is how far the rocket would go. It was fun. So I do understand the basics of how that all works. But so the interest... Go ahead.
But when it comes to things like SpaceX, and when it comes to things like the space shuttle and all those types of things, I mean, we really have a really deep background in debunking those things, showing which things are CGI, which things are just not plausible in this reality. The moon landing, all that kind of stuff. We tear it all to shreds just by looking at it and analyzing it to see whether or not this is even plausible. And we'll be doing that again tonight. It should look really obvious to people at the end of this that rockets, missiles, they are psyops, except for these bottle rocket things. We'll look at some videos of what a real rocket looks like and behaves like. And we'll do some contemplations about what it would take to turn this thing into a warhead that would be able to travel 37 or 39 miles to hit a target and then blow something up, right? So
okay,
it should be a fun analyzing tonight.
yeah, that was a great jump in and segue. It gave me a little time to collect my thoughts a little better, so that I can bring to everyone's attention. So the problem that I have with their psyops that they run is that there are actual innocent people that are tortured by this. So not only are they running these psyops, but they're also practicing using, very well could be like, new weapons, new types of technologies, new poisons. This all probably is true. I knew that in my study, I had so much compassion for the Palestinian people, because I was thinking maybe they're probably the actual descendants if they were getting tortured and, you know, they got exodus again from the land. And then some of them were segregated to the West Bank and to the Gaza Strip. They fly drones over these houses, over these slums and everything in the Gaza City, which, by the way, could be an absolute dream place. It's a huge coastline. Like, it's, I'll get back to it. So they actually torture the children. They are psychologically completely tortured by the sounds of the drones. It's 24/7, at least when the CCTV footage is running. You can listen to the drones. You can hear buildings. They blow them up. They do this over and over and over again. The people move out of those areas. They blow them up. And then they try to make up the story that it's Iran. All of this is just nonsense. This is the way that they divide and conquer, as well as control the minds of people and practice just gross stuff. And the other thing is they make everybody serve in the IDF. If you want to become a citizen of Israel and you're not Jewish, so they say, or Ashkenazi, you got to join the IDF. And then you can earn your citizenship, right, through one of their ways. And what they do with the IDF is they torture people. I wouldn't even go as far as to say that the IDF might even be part of the teams that perpetrate all of the hoaxes here in the US, in Canada, in Australia. They're probably in France. All these different things that happen are probably Mossad, IDF, connected orchestrations. And the people, they've been wearing the masks and all the hoaxes, all the cops, all the people that run this. This is, I see, this is the head of the snake, as well as Rome, the Jesuits. And you've got this other head of the snake, which is the Rothschild-owned Israel, right? This is where we're at. They're not the true chosen people. And what we're going to go through tonight is an absolute joke. What they're trying to sell people, all they do is, again, the torture. They turn these sirens on. People have to run in, hide in a bomb shelter. Like, what kind of a life is that? To me, it's just disgusting. If I was in control right now, I would outlaw all of these psyops right away, because people want to get together. They want to live side by side. They don't want to be racist. The propaganda machines, the TVs, the internet, the cell phones, everything that you're playing with, looking at, is trying to divide you, trying to cause racism. And that's what the whole point of what we're going through tonight. All the money they spend, all the torture that these people go through, is also that they can mind control the population of the world. And it's a joke. It needs to end. We'll be continuing to cover every lie, every hoax, everything that they try to pull off. We try not to hold punches back. We can't talk about these. We can't talk about the marks of the wildebeests, but we can talk about this.
Yeah, the question that keeps running through my head is how many of these people are in on it and know what's going on and just think it's cute and funny, and the New World Order and the Georgia Guidestones, and it won't be long and all the Christians are gone and all that kind of crap. So I don't know exactly how many people are in the know when they're showing people running for the bomb shelters. I don't know. I think they probably see the camera guys, and they're probably doing it like with somebody that's directing the whole thing. I think if we were to ever see something truly real, where there was a massive explosion and people were really like blown up and blown apart, and super trauma all over the place. And like, if we're to see real footage like that, we would see that everything that we've seen up until this point has just been this cartoony Hollywood version of everything. And
8200.
8200. Bad.
Can't stand them. I can't stand them. And again, we'll go to screen share soon. But, again, I want to explain to everybody that I found myself in the truther movement because of the Operation Protective Edge. When they were blowing up the tunnels, so they were running the bombs through these tunnels from Israel. So they were getting stuff into Israel and then smuggling it into Gaza, right? Cell phones, laptops. Apparently the people can't buy anything. That was the story back then. And they were, I guess somebody died, and then this is how they run the hoaxes. So
so this is super significant, in my opinion, that everybody understand that. Right, so your history as a truther, you started out in this,
yes,
in Gaza, Israel, and then it went into your hoaxing days,
yes,
like where you're busting hoaxes.
Well, it was around the same time, so I was into, I can't even say the name, something Hook. That one went down, and then Ebola and this were the next two major ones where everybody thought that they were going to get Ebola. It was so retarded. I don't know the level of everyone in the audience. I would hope that you all knew that the Ebola thing was an absolute joke, Psyop. That thing was actually for people stopped digging up the diamonds and stuff and the gold, and they didn't want to do it no more. So they just started putting poison in the wells. We'll get back into this though. So yeah, it was the actual, because I was super into the scriptures. I was like going word for word. I didn't swear. I was celibate. I was like the super righteous I could ever have been. And it was like, it led me to the truth movement when I was like, oh wow, not only was that a hoax, because like I had said, I had realized in the end when I had met some people in Gaza and they told me that it was all scripted. Like the end of the 2014 thing, they told everyone in Gaza to go out and party in the streets. And then we sat up in our CTV camera because we all went to this chat. We went in this group called Occupied Air, and we all chatted and watched the CCTV footage of the buildings being blown up. And then they would live stream it all, right? And you'd see like the donkeys going by and you'd hear their prayer. It was quite an interesting experience, I have to tell you guys. But they at the end, they said, everyone go out and celebrate like we won. So all the Gaza people went out and hooray and cheers. And like all this stuff went on and on and on and on and on. And then that's how it ended. And they were saying, somebody was like, it's all nonsense and it's all staged. It's being run by the same people, both sides of the show. So I've known that ever since then. So none of this to me is different. When we look at it, we just... Again, there's even videos of like babies being uncovered in concrete, which I shared. I was all emotional about it. It's like, no, they actually stage that scene. They do these scripts, right, to pull at your heartstrings. I met some of the most loving people that were in those chats. Some of the most caring individuals that have ever that are alive now, that they were there, and everyone was like empathetic and emotional towards the Palestinian people. I often think at the end of the day, if both sides aren't working together to fundraise. So at the end of the day, if you follow the money, it looks like it's another, besides the psychological mind control of the division and the control, it's look here, everyone look here, while they're doing something over here. It's that, as well as it's profitable. So you got people sending millions or trillions of dollars, who knows, to support the Palestinian people, and then you have people donating money to save Israel because they're acting on the news. I don't know, Jason, have you seen any of the news? People are acting like Israel has a right to defend herself, and like there's supposedly some sort of an army attacking Israel, right? That's the narrative. Am I not right?
That's what they're trying to say, but we're going to take a look at what they're basing this all off of. So remember how United States went to the Middle East and fought a war over weapons of mass destruction, and there was no such thing, right? Whoops. But they're still there and control the poppy fields. And so they come up with some crazy narrative to justify to the people that troops need to go and do this and that, and we're going to fight these people, and we're going to unleash all these bombs and stuff like that. And then they come up with new countries and new world guidelines
Right?
afterward.
What was it
After that,
called? Was it Desert Storm? Was that the big one? No, I can't remember. There was Shock and Awe, Operation Shock and Awe. And again, I want to continue to reiterate the word operation, the word theater of war. These are common things that I ring the bell for, because they tell you it's a script, right? The both sides are controlled by the same people, and they just act it out. And it's hilarious because people suck at it. And when you look at when you actually investigate where the rockets they're shooting are going, and then they shoot off these other things, the supposedly, okay, does everyone know about the Iron Dome? This you think in your mind there's this impenetrable iron steel dome around Israel or Jerusalem, right? No, that's not what it is. What it is like a battery. It just shoots projectiles up in the air and then they explode. That's your Iron Dome. They're not hitting anything. There's no rockets coming flying in. That's not what it is.
Firework launcher.
It's a firework launcher. And they call it Iron Dome. And it's like the Americans designed it. It's trillions of dollars. And it's absolutely garbage. It's toilet paper. It's like, if you want a firework, you can just hire Benson and Hedges and they'll do a better job, right? That's what we are working with, people. I just want to break right through all the boundaries of people's minds and the conception that they have. And the other side, the supposed army that everyone's talking about, would they have slingshots? Are you kidding me? One army has like the most powerful weapons in the whole world because they steal everything from the United States. Everyone knows it. The government's run by a APAC or whatever. We all know what's going on. But yet, they need to have the right to defend themselves against slingshots and rocks. That's
that picture that's in the thumbnail is like one of the new big pictures of the Palestinians, the kid with the slingshot rocket. But you need to see the rest of what's going on around him. He's actually standing in fire. He is standing in fire while all of his buddies are no mask. They're just standing there, their smiles on their face, and he's all like rocked out in the slingshot.
So again, I want to let people know, doing this for me and Jason is actually enjoyable. I get fired up about the torture, right, and the mind control. I get really mad because I want to live in a place that's just, where people just want to be righteous. But anyways, we really enjoy looking at their war stuff, right? Like the Moab, the mother of all bombs, right? The Moab. It had a 36-mile blast. Or foot.
Whoa. 32 foot.
Oh, 32 foot. I'm sorry. I don't know why I went, because they always use that 3-6 number, right?
Yeah.
But
3-2 and 3-3.
Yeah, 3-2-2. That's your, just whatever the cross thing. I'm not going to say it. But anyways, yeah, tonight we're going to have some fun because we find it absolutely hilarious. Like, has anyone seen the rockets that come up out of the water and then fly off into it's like hilarious. You can literally see where the rocket falls back down if they leave the camera going long enough. Some of the stuff, like they're super planes that you find out, they're like gliders. They've got people that have to carry the wings out to launch it because they're going to snap off. They can't even carry anything, let alone bombs. Like the stealth bomber, it has no bombs, right? It's like paper. It's like a glider, right? Just people don't really get to look into this. Nukes being an absolute hoax. Galen Windsor completely destroyed the idea that nuclear power plants were even bad for you. He swam in the cool-off rod pool, Galen Windsor. He ate, plutonium? Uranium.
Uranium, yeah.
He ate it. And the Geiger counter was going, and he's like, yeah, the FBI came and took my uranium stash from me, right? He showed everybody. He was the guy that designed how the power plants were running, right? So we've completely destroyed the fact that they then tell you they can put an explosive inside some side of a rocket that they don't even know how to fire. You can't steer them. There's no wings on a rocket. It's the most retarded thing you've ever heard of in your life. Oh, no. The other one is that they send them into outer space, right?
They usually have fins, though, and we're going to be looking at fins a little bit tonight. I think the fins in themselves are going to debunk that these are flying projectiles.
All of it just basically makes me absolutely rolling the floor, laughing my ass off because it's so simple. The whole thing in Korea, that was hilarious. Remember that? We actually got, that was back when we were able to get views. Remember, we got like over 10,000 views on that podcast pretty quick, where it was called War is a Hoax. And we went through it. But yeah, nukes are a hoax. They're bombs. The only thing that really explodes really, really well is nitroglycerin. The only problem with it is the people that were trying to make it were blowing up. So they had to, we got to pull that one off the shelf. They weren't allowed to use that. And just one last thing that I want to say. A lot of people come out and say that, why is it that you and Jason are always calling people out, always talking about hell and the consequences of the simulation being super great? And it's like, yeah, we could just walk away. We could be like, y'all are good. Me and Jason could just go somewhere tropical, build huts, build fishing nets, catch crab, and make fires and live under palm trees for the rest of our lives. And we could just walk away. We tell you guys, you're all good. You're all going to the kingdom. We could walk away like, yeah, like these guys are going straight to hell, right? We could do that. But Jason and I choose to dedicate huge portions of our life to the truth, to calling people out, for asking people to repent, for asking people to want to be more, to know that we're not enough, that we need the Father, the creator of the simulation. He's the one who has all the answers and all the help. I just wanted to touch that because, like, right, Jay, we could just walk away and be like, man, we ain't going to see these people in the kingdom, right? We could do that, but we don't. We don't. Guys like Leland. Go ahead.
There was a pretty strong warning that I put in that Letter J video that has to do with the responsibility of all of us that learn the truth to share the truth. Because the scriptures, we've gone through this, the scriptures in context show that there is going to be an accounting of everything. Everything that you've done for the truth, everything that you've done wicked, there's going to be an accounting. Now, the wicked things, when you call upon the name of Yahawahashai, the slate can just be wiped clean with his blood.
And repentance.
Right? Just in repentance, and by accepting that. Mm-hmm. So then what's left? Well, the good things, those things get counted as well. So it's going to be obvious when you're asked, like, what have you done for the truth? The people that have done stuff will say, well, I've done this, and I've done this, and I've done this, and I've done this. And the people that haven't done anything are going to stand there sort of dumbfounded. And the parable of the master and the servants, where he gets called lazy and wicked and useless servant. Like, he's given 1 talent, the next guy's given 5, the other guy's given 10. And in that same order, they performed. And so the rebuke was really strong for the one that didn't do anything. And I think that's a really strong warning for all of us to not be people that don't do anything. So what we do is we try to lead the charge, try to be that servant that gets the 10 talents, and not just multiply it by 10, but multiply it by 50 or 100 or whatever it takes. And to do that, that means you have to warn as many people as possible. So that's the reason why we strategically put ourselves on YouTube in the time slots as much as we possibly could to talk with as many people as possible and share these warnings, because that's what we're asked to do. So we're not saying that everybody can do the same amount, but I'm always asking everybody to do what you can do so that when it comes time to accounting time, that you're going to feel good about yourself. And even if you get started late, remember the parables of the people that the master said, just get more people to bring in the harvest, get more people. And he would pay them the full day's wages. And some people were a little bent because they're just getting a day's wages and they did the majority of the work. But the people that come in at the end, if they helped bring in the harvest, got paid the full day's wages. So there'll be some of that as well. All of us are going to have to just put our big boy pants on and do the best that we can, and understand that everything's going to be accounted accurately. Nothing's going to be askew. There's going to be no favoritism. The scriptures are so clear about that.
Well, there is a chain of order, right? Mm-hmm. And there will be, princes, kings and queens, righteous people. Well, I guess not kings and queens, but like princes and heirs to the throne filled in the kingdom. And you get that by searching the truth, reading the scriptures, using your heart, loving other ones, feeding the poor, clothing the naked, feeding anyone who needs food. Again, what dad would give his son a snake when he asks for a piece of fish, right? Not the one we serve. If you ask him for some bread, he's not going to give you a rock. Okay? Faith is a huge part of the way that we walk, right? So we want other people to go out into the world and share messages of truth like we do. We've always wanted to inspire people. We should probably get into this. We could go off onto such tangents, but it's going to be fun tonight to actually look at war is a hoax again. It's been a while since we covered this topic, so I'm glad that we're here tonight. I'm thankful, even for you in the future, for tuning in and checking this out. The only thing we ask is that if you get anything from the content, you could leave a comment or like. You don't have to do either one of them. And if you can share it, that's even huger for us, because that's the only way we find people. You literally have to go to our channel. We've been out of the search engines for what? 3 years? 2.5 years? Like, you can't, when you search a topic, like if you were to search Gaza war or anything like that, you're not going to find us. They
Yeah,
took us
we
out.
were on our way out before Trump, but when he started coming in, then it was just all over.
Well, we were telling everyone that Trump is a proclaimed Democrat, right? Who's faking to be a Republican so that he can drive the country into the ground. That's what we were telling everybody. And I don't think they wanted to hear that message, right? And guess who ran Trump, right? It was. You can find a video of Bibi Netanyahu when Obama was in office, and there was talk of Israel not being backed as much, and there was all this anti-Zionist propaganda, which there is still a small seed of it, but they took care of that and echo chambered those people. Netanyahu was filmed privately or secretly, or he probably even knew. He said, I'm not worried about America. He's like, I've got a plan for them. And he like laughs, right? So Trump was the plan. They put him in. All they did was make more, what do they call those? Anti-Semitic laws. They've censored more truth. They've taken more people away. The people that were supposedly fighting mega, they all got silenced. Even Mega Trump himself got banned from all social media. So that's where we're at now. But the siege on Gaza continues. Now, has anyone found the name of the operation that's taking place? While we were waiting, because I still haven't found it.
Yeah, I didn't look into it.
Well, I can look it up as you're screen sharing. Did you want to screen share first?
Sure.
Okay, let's get prepared. Thanks again for everybody for showing up. I'm sorry we're a little bit quiet when we're on camera. It's because we have the mics off the shot. We don't have like a studio setup. It's digital. Let me get this set up correctly before you get going. And I'll hopefully find the name of the siege now. I'll go through the other sieges later. Should I make you full screen so people can see this? I wonder. I really want people to see the hoaxes.
Yeah, I think for this section we probably should go full screen.
Let me adjust it. The 8200 came in and messed with our settings tonight. Okay, you are go.
All right, so this is really simple. Google images. That's all you really need to figure out a PSYOP like this. We can do a number of keyword searches. I did Israel rocket shrapnel, and I got to this picture. And this right here really sort of sets the tone for the whole thing. Let me open this in a new tab, and we'll get it as big as we can. We don't need to see quality of this building and awnings and stuff like that. It's not super fancy. But this right here, if we look back right here, this is beauty from destruction, repurposing rocket shrapnel bridges something. We'll check out that site, but take a look at all this rocket shrapnel that this business has sitting on their back porch. All right, so
I'm sorry. That was funny. Like, all on their back porch, huh?
Yeah, this is their racks of rocket shrapnel, because what they do is they make jewelry out of it and sell it to Israelis. Right? They wear rocket shrapnel jewelry. So what they do is, here's some rockets down here. You can see this one's a 2-finner. You can see where the weld is. All right, this one's a 3-finner, and it's got this split chunk here. This one's welded on a little bit better. Some of these are crimpled up tubes. These ones have the ends wrapped around on them. There's this type over here that has the, what is that, six nozzle.
Should I make it larger so people can see?
I can
you
zoom in more too.
That's better. Let me get that centered. That's better. Thank you very much.
Is your rocket shrapnel. So notice you got the crimpled ends, you got the fin ends, and you got the nozzle ends. There's another nozzle end over here. Then you got some big poofy panels here that just don't really fit with the rest. This one looks like a propeller sitting on top right here. You know, the ends here, these long ones here, this just looks like threaded pipe, right? Like big threaded pipe. This might be 6-inch threaded pipe. Here's the collar right here.
Oh.
Down here you've got some notches in the end of it. I guess they probably took like these fins right here off of this tube, and who knows what kind of jewelry they're going to make out of this. I'll show you some of their other designs. All right, so beauty from destruction, repurposing rocket shrapnel. There's rockets that have been fired into the town of Sderot. That's where they keep them. That's where they, so you can get the Star of David right here. That's a rocket shrapnel necklace. Roses from rockets you can have made. Choosing life, you can get this little locket thing made out of the rocket shrapnel. All right, so masters, what is this? International University of Divinity. Got the cross. Yeah, so they make jewelry out of the shrapnel of the rockets that the Gazans are sending.
Come on. So these people go around saying that my earrings and my brooch was made from rockets that were shot and didn't kill anybody, so we wear them as like a symbol of like Israel strong. Is that what you're telling me?
No, these may have killed people too, right?
Which way? Are these are rockets that they fire into Gaza or from Gaza to Israel? Because I don't think they.
I think these are Gaza to Israel. Nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets killed.
No, I don't think so. Unless they want to kill those people. Because like I said, they just shoot the rocket up in the air, and it fizzles out right there, and then they clip to the Israel part, and then you hear the sirens, and then there's like maybe an explosion, but I don't see too many of those either, except for the buildings that they blow up in Gaza. I don't see rockets blowing up in Israel too often. No.
All right, so I'm gonna just scroll back up here to the top, and this is the type of search that any one of you can do, and see what is being promoted. Let's make sure that we get the most recent time. Let's do the last week. We'll see what we've been seeing for the last week. This one has flames still shooting out of the hole. Big orange ball here. Now, we are not just straight deniers. We do believe that over in Gaza and in Israel, there are these smoke plumes that are rising up that people are taking pictures of. Now, what's going on, what's causing these smoke plumes, that is what we have under debate right now. So these are the types of pictures right here that we're seeing of these rockets going off. Look at this one. Let's use this one as an example. We'll bring this one up bigger.
Here we go. Now we're getting into some good stuff.
We got rockets taking off, and
look at their path. Sorry. Can you zoom in a little bit? Not too much. Just I want to get the screen centered. There you go. Perfect. Let me move. I'm going to take the rectangle off. It's blocking the rockets.
So these are the paths of these rockets that are being launched from Gaza that are going to a city. What have we determined? Is it 37 miles, 39 miles?
We could measure if you want.
Do you see these paths? You think these things are going up and driving perfectly straight in a rifling line for 39 miles? Do you understand if you're off by a fraction of a degree in a launch, like unless if you can remote control this thing and steer it, right? If you're off by a fraction of a degree over the course of 37 or 39 miles, how many miles off are you going to be from targets?
You're way off. You're way off. Plus, these things don't even have wings, okay? They don't have anything to steer with, right? They don't have any adjustment to the blast of the rocket coming out of the back of it. It goes where it goes, just like a firework. That's it.
It's a firework.
Look at it. I don't know. Is this just a still?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see some video later. I've got video clips prepared.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of these. These are the pictures that are being shared. Like if you do the breakdown of it, and you think about how, let's make this bigger, what it takes to do nighttime photography.
So these might be that might be the Iron Dome, right? Would it not? That might be in Israel to defend against the incoming supposed rockets. I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
No. But do you understand what it would take?
Can you make it a little bit smaller? Just a click?
To do a nighttime. So this is a long exposure picture. We haven't seen any of these things leave these nice, long, straight things. Like they're all... We'll watch some real smoke plumes, and they're all spirally, and they don't make these nice. This right here is just CGI. It's just they probably launch some rockets off, right? But this right here, this is CGI.
Yeah, it's not looking real at all. And even if it was, again, it's just fireworks. That's all we're gonna see them. They shoot it off.
These arcing paths.
And then boom, you hear it blow up in this. And it's, if you've ever been to a fireworks show, you're going to see what we're showing you guys tonight. That's all it is. I wouldn't even be surprised if Desert Storm or whatever that was called again, that was probably all stage 2. Same thing.
I think this one's funny.
But we're going to see funnier ones when we get into the looking her up videos. A gender free. Look at these. That must be the Iron Dome. That's them again. That's the Iron Dome right there. There's your Iron Dome.
Is it? Or is this supposed to be Gaza? Because they're going every single different direction. Right? This one's this way, this one's this way, this one's this way, this one's this way, this one's this way. And this one comes from over here and goes.
Is there a caption?
Like
Is there not a caption? Is there not an article with this image?
Gaza terrorists fire hundreds of rockets at Israel.
Okay,
IDF pummels.
These are supposedly Gazan rockets. That's what they're trying to tell us, right? They smuggled them in. The Ayatollah brought them the materials to make these. They somehow got them. Can you just open another tab and just pull up the walls and get the walls of Gaza? Just for a joke, just so I can show people what we're talking about here. Because if you want to believe that they somehow smuggled rocket materials into, look at the walls that they have built around the city. Okay, just look. That's what you're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. And everywhere that there's a penetration through that wall, you better believe that there's cameras and IDF soldiers with guns at those gates. Okay, how you telling me they're getting the rocket material, the Ayatollah? They're getting through that, right? Which is interesting that they want to build walls around the United States of America too. Interesting when you start seeing who the wall builders are. Funny enough, now that you've got these walls up, the name of the siege, because nobody got it in the chat. That's okay. Hopefully you're all paying attention to what we're throwing down here. This year, Operation 2021, the war on Gaza, is called Operation Guardian of the Walls, right? And then also, dubbed by Hamas, the Operation Sword of Jerusalem. So that's what you've got. Guardian of the Walls versus the Sword of Jerusalem, right? That's your script. Look at these walls, people. You're telling me they're getting anything? They're getting anything through these walls? Like, to get through there, you got to have your paperwork. Yes, I'm going to, like, people in Gaza, some of them do get to leave. They get to go to Jerusalem. They get to go to the West Bank. I think they just built a brand new highway, or they were working on it, to bridge Gaza to the West Bank. So there's things going on in the country that lead me to believe that this is all staged PSYOP, like construction. They blow up the buildings because they want to build a new building there. For all I know, it's like a make work program.
Yeah, we'll see some of that.
Coffee's ready.
Let's see here. Looking at pictures. So we've got some, do you see these spirally? This is what I'm talking about, these spirally things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you see when you do these model rockets and the bigger ones of the model rockets. Now this is that demolition type stuff that I've got a problem with this image.
Can you make it larger?
I am going to make it larger.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
And so,
wow. Let me get it. Can you zoom in a bit?
It's pretty full.
If you go one more click. Thank you. So we're looking at a destroyed roof here, right? We got some hail damage. So, is that what we're talking about?
You saw the rockets before. We were looking at them.
The pieces?
They were making jewelry out of them, right?
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
The ones, and we got to look at how they launch these rockets too, because that's super critical, the launching of a rocket. And they're supposed to go 37 to 39 miles. And I'm assuming that we're to believe that they're loaded with massive explosives.
Mm-hmm.
In the warhead, that there's still enough room that after traveling 37 or 39 miles, that it had enough fuel to get there, but there's still enough massive explosion stuff. Because all right, a hole in a roof like that. Also notice that all the roof tile on that side of the roof, all of it's off.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. There's not a single piece of roof tile left on that house that hasn't been broken out of its place. But there's other pictures of this home from down on the ground where you see the side of it, and you just see that the roof's been torn off of this house. There's no other damage to the rest of it. This over here, I don't know what to make of it. This house has some tile damage as well, but the idea that the missile, the rocket, got all the way over here, had the explosive force to come through here and take the entire roof off like this, and then when you see the house from the side, the windows are still intact. The windows aren't blown out. That to me is like, I don't know. This looks like a construction project. I'm looking for some, these are they promote certain imagery, and that
one's too small. Well, I guess you could make it larger.
Yeah, I've got a higher quality version of it. Should be up in images.
Mm-hmm. That's the thumbnail.
Where is it?
What's that guy carrying?
That's rocket shrapnel.
Oh yeah, I remember. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it should be in so it's in the thumbnail. It should be in videos that we
Oh, it's in
see
your
from.
thumbnail. Here, I'll put the thumbnail on. Boom. There's the guy carrying the piece of the rocket. I'll put it back to the actual image. Great job with the parallax here. Back, you're now presented.
Yeah, so this is in videos. Some guy, he's carrying rocket shrapnel. And obviously he's some important guy. He's got his walkie-talkie thing on, and he's carrying this like slag metal.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make it a little bigger.
It's all melted.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, this doesn't match up with anything that they say is a rocket. Like, this isn't a tube. This isn't. You look at these rough seams right here. This is not a flying device, and it's super old and all rusty and dirty, and like this isn't a fresh rocket. Those things aren't that big that when you wrap this around, it's going to be a rocket. This is like the chunk of slag that was sitting on the other on the rack that they were making the stuff into the jewelry with. So let's see what other images we have.
Yeah, we've got video too later, but we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll show you what they show.
So here it's not like this one didn't really explode, right? You got some stains on the side right here and a little chunk missing out of the wall. What else do we have? They're burning flags. I guess rockets rained down on this. Here's the stain on the wall. There's where that picture was taken. Oh, what is this? Is that part of a rocket? All right, so may have exhausted that tab. This one was Israel rocket channel. Got another one. There's walls of Gaza. How did I hit another one?
I got a bunch, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you go through yours? I'll try to re-queue a few things, and then we also can go through like some YouTube videos of how rockets actually fly and how far they can go. It's,
yeah, I want to do that. These I can run through these.
Okay, cool.
I can run through them. If you want, I can do the screen share so that you can see. Hope everyone's still with us and tuning in and checking it all out. So again, here, this is where we'll start it. So you've got the 2014, or I guess there's 2012, right? The 2012 operation that they ran in the Gaza, the same thing that we're going over tonight. They called it Operation Pillar of Defense, right? Which this one was only an 8-day campaign, which is interesting. Began on November 14th. So again, Israel killed somebody, or Gaza killed somebody, or Israel killed the Gaza military wing, and then all hell breaks loose. Then you have 2014, the one that I started really focusing in on was Operation Protective Edge, right? You see that there. This is how they run their Psyops. They title them, they script them. It's gross, right? Gaza War, also known as Operation Protective Edge, was a military operation launched by Israel on the 8th of July of 2014. So it's the exact same thing. We can continue to go back here in time. Now we're in 2008. This here says, the Gaza War, also known as Operation Cast Lead, right? And apparently some of these, they say this was taking place, but I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't doubt it. These people are super racist, super narcissistic. But yeah, so I'm showing you guys just basically, and then you've got 2021. You've got Operation Guardian of the Walls or the Sword of Jerusalem. Right, this is the PSYOP. This is how they run it. You can see, oh, that's weird. Interesting with that pulled up. So now we can look at some of the evidence. So there's a live stream right now. I told you guys in 2014 I joined a stream called Occupied Air. This wasn't being live streamed on YouTube, but you get this. You're sitting on a roof, right, in Gaza. You see the Gaza skyline. And if you watch long enough, you'll see them blowing up buildings. And then you'll hear an F-17. You hear the plane fly away. You hear them praying. You see donkeys and stuff. Like I was saying, this is how the PSYOP goes. They've got these cameras that are, connected to the internet on roofs in Gaza, right? Just keep that in your mind. Here's the fire. So they started this off by saying that everything's on fire. The mosque, the Dome of the Rock, they were saying, right, is burning. That's a tree. That's a tree. I turn that down. It's a bit loud. That's a tree that's burning there. That's not the Dome of the Rock. Somebody lit a tree on fire here, right? Can I make it larger? Because nobody ever makes these things larger. That's probably way too large anyways for this stream. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's a tree on fire. That's not the Dome of the Rock on fire. I just want to repeat, that's a tree. There's the dome. They showed it. They let you know. Oh, I guess because it's in the vicinity of the Dome of the Rock, the fire. So they can just say the Dome of the Rock is burning down. That's what everybody was running around saying. Then you get stuff like this. Let's see what this is.
Then continued clashes. The Israeli border police were trying to push the Palestinians out of the compound, and they did at various points. People were congregating around Lions Gate here.
Are we to believe that these people are poor? What are we looking at here?
Where further stun
are these people, do they look like they're being, they all look clean. Everybody in this shot here that I'm looking at looks super clean. Right? New clothes, new shoes, new Nikes, all the top of the line stuff. They've got it. They got it. What are these chairs set up for? Right? Right here, this is 100%. This is a hoax. This is a script. This is staged. Now they're like, action! And everybody runs. Right? Let's keep going.
Gate here, where further stun grenades and water cannon were used against the Palestinians.
The other thing they do, they spray the people with water. Right? It's bad. I don't like any of it.
Some were running through the Muslim graveyards here away from that.
Well, that was inside the old city. There were clashes outside the old city walls too. This video was posted by Israel's foreign ministry showing the moment an Israeli driver struck a Palestinian after he came under attack.
So then there is this. We do have bouts of racism that take place. Me and Jason have said that before. These people are programmed on their TV, their news, their internet to hate each other. Right? You got to hate them. You got to hate them. Right? That's what we see.
The Al-Aqsa Mosque compound sits inside the old. Force us to stand strong like Israel's police officers are doing.
So then you got to, every hoax, every staged event, we got to give shout outs to the police, to the EMTs, to the firemen, to the police officers. They're all heroes doing a justice to humanity. You got Netanyahu coming out. I strongly condemn the attacks against Israel, and we will defeat them with a swift hand of, what is it called again? Operation Guardian of the Walls. This is this guy. He comes out like that every time. But now there's the two Bens. There's the Benjamin Netanyahu, and then there's the Benjamin Gantz. So we've got these two show going on. Look at these guys.
Illegal under international law, considers the whole city of Jerusalem as its unified capital.
So again, they're trying to stoke, it was like USA versus Russia. was the Cold War. So as soon as you invent an enemy, it's, if you haven't seen the movie 1984, you probably don't realize that that's how it wasn't like China or something was the bad guy, and they play the propaganda in the movie, and everyone, they're gonna kill China. So they pit the two sides against each other, create what's called patriotism, and then they use it to destroy the people. Right? That's the PSYOP that they run here. It's crazy.
Given the events of earlier in the day, as we were here, and then suddenly an air raid siren, which in Jerusalem is an incredibly rare event. We then heard within a moment or two what sounded like the sound of blasts from Israel's Iron Dome anti-missile system, presumably firing down missiles, and I think the expectation has got to be here that these were missiles fired from the Gaza Strip. The Israeli army has confirmed that sirens have been going off in various parts of the country, also outside the Gaza Strip. And as that happened, Palestinians were celebrating as those sirens went off. You can see.
Remember, I told you they run both sides of it, right? They tell, okay, send everybody out in the streets and celebrate, and then the people go out, ah, they all celebrate, right? Remember, I said that.
The water cannon, the skunk water cannon, moving down the street here, firing.
Someone said action, and then all of a sudden they went and got in this thing, right? Everyone was standing around, all the cameras were ready, and then all of a sudden the water cannon guy comes in and turns on his water. Get out of here, man. This is so retarded. Like, action.
There towards Palestinians. If you look over to the left here, you'll see people running away. This is skunk water.
So not only that, I was going to tell you guys earlier, but they apparently put skunk spray stuff in the water that they're spraying the people too. That's what he's saying, right? It's probably just water. Who's over here, man? Do you see anybody, Jason? It's empty.
Yeah, they're just spraying down like this is nothing.
Where's the people?
Nothing. This is what they show us.
This is it.
That is fired.
There's, some journalists over there probably running.
Vehicles to try and disperse crowds, people running away. What had happened immediately after that siren and after those interceptions.
All you got is press. Journalists. Like, this is a joke.
Was that dozens of Palestinians came up the steps of Damascus Gate here, many cheering and celebrating what was going on.
Oh, that's at the Damascus Gate. That's where Nick Vanderleen said the two witnesses were going to be killed, right?
He did say that.
Yeah, he did, right?
God is great. And that completely changed the mood at that moment. And that's when we've then seen the Israeli forces at this point moving in, trying to push people back.
Now, this escalation has not come out of the blue. The past few days have seen the heaviest clashes in Jerusalem for years. There are two events that are the focus of this. This was the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood in East Jerusalem on Sunday.
Wow, they do this like Canadians, huh? They got Mounties in Israel too? I guess they have them here. I know they do. They ride them around Austin too. But I always find it funny. If they were dressed up like the...
But these guys are super battle ready.
Yeah,
on their horses.
They've got all the gear on, right?
Sunday, Palestinians have been staging protests against legal efforts by Jewish settler groups to evict them from their homes. The lawsuit, which dates back to 1972, argues that the land belongs to the ancestors of Jewish settlers.
Okay, again, after World War II, the Rothschilds, the whole entire thing was scripted, the World Wars, so that they could migrate Ashkenazi Yiddish people, right, the Northern European people, then they could migrate to Israel and start this nation. It was Palestine up until 1948 when the Rothschilds bought Israel and moved these people there. They said that they gassed them and all this and that, but they got sent here. They got on the trains and they sent them here. Right.
For the most part, they were like the Bolshevik revolutionist types, right? The German pagans, Hungarian pagans, Russians. Mm-hmm. That's
Polish too. There was German all over France. They were everywhere, right? So they sent them there, and what they ended up doing was killing. If they didn't leave, they exodused the people that lived in Palestine, in the cities where they were occupied. They killed the people in the streets. Boom, boom, boom. This is the story that I've been read and been told. And then those people, fought back, and then they were killed. And then the descendants and the grandchildren of those people are still today fighting against the supposed Jewish people that killed their ancestors. That's the narrative here. I want everyone to be completely clear at what's going on. So, and it's been going on. They've been encroaching supposedly on the land, making it less and less. In the West Bank, they just move people that want to migrate to Israel. They just put you in the West Bank, and they make gated communities that everyone carries around like guns, supposedly. And then on the other side of the fence, there's the poor Gaza or Palestinian people. So the narrative is there. This is what they show. And then they supposedly have war against each other. Did you want to add anything?
No, that's good.
That's one of the entrances to the old city. Well, Israel's Prime Minister denies a heavy-handed response to these protests. This is what he said on Sunday.
We shall not allow any radical element to undermine the calm in Jerusalem. We shall decisively and responsibly impose law and order in it. We shall continue to keep the freedom of religion for all religions, but we shall not allow violent riots.
While Palestinians deny those charges, there are other factors to consider here too. Let's hear from the BBC's Middle East editor, Jeremy Bowen.
The conflict is there, it's a given. Mr. Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, in his many years in the job, had come to the conclusion that the conflict could be managed. The one that was a threat to Israel was Iran. So the thing is, though, is that the conflict bubbles on. And in that conflict, Jerusalem is the sharpest part of it all. And all this has happened in Jerusalem, and it's a reminder of the power of the issue that Hamas are now launching rockets out of Gaza. So it happened in Jerusalem, and as you've just heard, it happened, of course, in Ramadan as well, which for Muslims is a highly significant part of it.
Keep that in mind. Okay, all this is taking place during the holy month Ramadan. For the the Arab people celebrate that. They I don't think they eat during the day, and they repent and all that. So all this is taking place during that time as well. So I guess everybody's off work. I guess it's just so crazy, the narrative that these people come out here year after year, hoax after hoax, saying the same thing.
Yeah, and that people believe it. That's crazy too.
Lots of people, right?
Yeah.
Part of the year. So put all together, those sparks were enough to reignite things again. The question now is whether both sides will continue, if you like, honor-satisfied, or whether this thing will escalate.
Well, both the US and the European Union are calling for calm. Here's the EU's foreign policy chief.
The situation with regard to the evictions of Palestinian families in Sheikh Jarrah and other areas of East Jerusalem is a matter of serious concern. I want to repeat what we have already been saying. Such actions are illegal under international humanitarian law and only serve to fuel tensions on the ground.
Well, let's go back to Tom Bateman, who's still live with us. So, Tom, there's a lot of concern being expressed. Are either side doing anything to de-escalate this situation?
Not at the moment. I think we're very much into an escalatory phase of what is happening. And I mean, what you've just set out there, Ross, is extremely comprehensive. And I think it helps people to understand to some extent that there is not just kind of one single cause here. There have been multiple issues that have been playing in and converging together into really, one day today that was always going to be this big question about the degree to which tensions would escalate. And they have done. Now, I think in terms of looking ahead and the potential for things to be calmed, I mean, first of all is what is at the very, very core of the conflict so often, and particularly now, and that is that incredibly sensitive holy site, holy to both faiths, and whether or not things can be calmed there.
So, something key to bring up here. We generally, Jason and I, talk about how, I guess, Jerusalem itself, if this is a video game simulation type reality where you're warring, you'd want to have control of that city. right? Because it's got the most amount of mind control that I guess, I don't know if it's the Vatican that does it or if it's the Queen. We don't know who is running the shots.
It's just it's a key place. I mean, it's Yahawahashai was there. It's where the temple was built. So there was two temples there. Each time it was in Jerusalem. Joshua was there. It's just a key place to hold. Like, anybody that's played paintball will understand having a fort, right? And this is the key place to hold. And if you lose the fort, your team loses or whatever. And if you hold the fort, your team wins. So we saw the Rothschild move for taking the Holy Land. And all of this was predicted. The Creator knew it because there was a prophecy of how long they would hold it before it was taken away from them. So we're hitting that time period right now, and it's getting really interesting.
Yeah, it looks that way, right? And as well as what they had said in the scriptures, that's what we go with. So if I get back to Steve here, is this good on the screen? What if I make this bigger? That's better. So let's look at some of the footage here real quick, and then I'll give it back to you, Jason. So this is a daytime strike.
Forces. Joe Truzman. Multiple strikes in Gaza a short time ago by the Israeli Defense Forces.
Again, like I told you, you hear the fighter jets, and then you see the explosions happening here, okay? You hear a lot of roosters. Right, so this is in Gaza, right? This is the retaliation for the riots and the Temple Mount thing. They're supposedly now blowing up buildings, right? He's not doing a very good job. There we go.
That's what happened.
Interesting, right? Let's get into some other footage that he has. Where's some of the night scenes? I know I had seen night scenes where we get those.
Yeah, there's the one that is in the thumbnail. I had seen that right away. It was like this big cement building, and then all of a sudden, boom, the whole thing like lit up orange. It lit up the whole neighborhood. And I was expecting it to collapse, but no, it didn't. I've got an image of it. They show the hole in the roof now, and you see the whole top floor. You can see through the windows. It's an empty top floor. So it's like the World Trade Center when you could see right through it. Remember, no floors matter.
Hollow. Where's
this one? This one's got floors, but yeah, I think that's the building. But I thought it got hit at night.
Yeah, I'm looking for night stuff. He just plays these tiny clips, but again, they're mostly similar.
An hour ago. Hang on.
Yeah, they're just burning that building down, right? Oh, it's getting darker though. Oh, there we go. Here's some night scenes.
35 minutes ago, Gaza City. 42 minutes ago.
They're burning that building down. And so here's the distances that they've fired. So this is the Gaza Strip right here. I guess it's, do I need to go down a little? This is the Gaza Strip. This is Israel, the bottom of it. And these are where they're supposedly launching these rockets. And Tel Aviv is like 39 miles away, I think. Right? Have you seen this map, Jason?
No, I haven't.
Mm-hmm. So this is it. Got some mic breathing and
Okay, now
chewing.
Aurora Intel says, where did that go? Hold on. Still no calm for
The other
Israel.
thing I thought was funny, my hometown of Aurora, right? Somehow makes it in here.
Israel and Gaza. Another barrage of rockets has been fired at Ashkelon, which is just north of Gaza. So that's right now. Just happened.
Steve gets excited.
Minher
Right?
says, when the Iron Dome...
The Iron Dome. Let me mute him when I continue to search here. He's got more explosions, right?
assume this is talking about a... I assume,
Out there.
this is what was going on in the last couple of minutes. Here, look, right there. So watch this.
Boom.
Watch on the left here. This is what was going on in the last couple of minutes. Watch
And
on
look
the
at
left right here.
Why do you guys think they use Twitter and then this guy doesn't large screen it? Does anyone know why? Right? I want to know.
Hide everything. That's the way they do it. It's 2021 and we're still getting footage that looks like it was from the 2000s.
Yeah,
right?
and
We're getting
you know,
240 resolution and it's filmed vertically, so it's cropped, and then it's in the middle of a screen made smaller, running at 720. So so what you get to see is just some pixels moving around slightly
to zoom in.
you get
Look
a
at
concept of it.
Look at how grainy it is.
Right there. See that right there?
What is it? Tell us, Steve. Those big bombs?
And there's this one too.
Boom. They blew something up.
So this is what was going on the last 10 minutes in Gaza City. About more like about 10 minutes ago.
So I'll continue on here. There's probably some better night footage. So he's using this app too, Jason. Remember, we watch him cover a lot of things. Is that Snapchat? I guess he's using Snapchat to find the...
Okay.
So the people in Israel are Snapchatting the missiles, the explosions.
In between buying shrapnel jewelry.
So he's continuing to show these explosions. Who knows how many he shows the same. And, you know, it's funny. They've done this so much. I really wonder how anyone can verify that any of these clips aren't from 2014. Again, here, let me show you guys again. They did this in 2014. They did this in 2012. They did this in 2008. Look at, they're all the same, except these were like grand. These like phosphorus bombs. These things were crazy. Like, look how they light up, right? Everybody, look at that. What they were doing. So anyways, again, 2014, 2008, and 2021. So Steve's up here thinking all this stuff is verified, right? We don't know when these shots are. Jason said to you, the footage is like really bad.
Farah Baker, she is...
And then everything else is run off Twitter, right? The mind control networks of the day. This is where they pump out all the disinformation.
It's not coming up. Al-Susi Tower.
Where's some of the night stuff? I guess it's got to be later. He covers this a lot. He's probably live right now showing the same stuff. They really want everyone to see these explosions taking place in Gaza. It's the most important thing to everybody. Where are the night shots? I remember me and you were going through it. Maybe I clicked on the wrong stream. But he had a bunch of the night shots. I didn't see very many. These were all day. Let's see.
Yeah, is that the more recent one? Do you need to go back?
Maybe it was this one. I checked the more recent one, I think. That was the last one.
You just don't
here we
normally
go.
see that many interceptors because there's normally
interceptors, right? Where's this clip? Hang on, let me get this.
Let
me get this zoomed in on here, everybody. This is the money shots, right? Here we go. Here we go. Action.
At this wave of incoming rockets. So Gaza Report says footage as the Gaza factions attempt to disrupt the precision Israeli defenses with overwhelming rocket attacks over main population centers around Tel Aviv this night. So it's just crazy to see this many interceptors in the air.
So if people believe, okay, that these are rocket interceptors and they're being shot up into the sky, and the explosion that you're seeing here on the screen is them intercepting a rocket, I'd like to know why we can't see the plume of the rocket coming into the shot. This is absolutely the funniest thing I've ever seen. This is just fireworks.
It's a fireworks show.
Fireworks
They're being
show.
shot from two directions, and they get up, and then they boom, boom, boom.
Thanks, Seth. Seth said we were the most red-pilled base guys on YouTube. We don't usually like compliments, but I'll take it. We are pretty based. Ain't nobody going to come up here and show you guys any of this stuff. I would love for there to be thousands of people calling this out, but unfortunately, there's just me and Jason, and you guys are here with us. So look at this. Where's the rocket plumes? Where's, like, what are they blowing up into?
Brother?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the live stream, and it doesn't... You might have to refresh.
What? I can see.
Yeah.
I'm projecting right here on the right. This is what's going out to the audience.
Okay.
You see that on the right?
Second.
You might have it incorrectly timed.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
See?
No, you got it.
Okay. Boof, 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 boof. That's a rocket intercept. Rocket intercepted. Rocket intercepted, right? Let's scroll on a bit here. At least we found some night footage. Wonder if they have they used the phosphorus stuff? I don't think they use that anymore. It was apparently a war crime against humanity.
3 minutes ago.
Man, I can't even stand to listen to Lookener. But he does have all these clips. He went through the Twitter and did what I did. Oh, here we go.
In a rocket strike earlier, currently burning.
A rocket did this. And then you get the Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. You get all that. That's like a common thing that you're going to hear. I don't know what that is, but somebody lit it on fire. There's no signs of any sporadic rocket damage. You don't see any shrapnel holes in the side of this thing. Hoax. You guys can light all you want on fire, but we're still going to look right through it. Look at this fire.
This is Elint News retweeted that.
Yeah, even the distance that a person would be standing. I mean, if you look at that footage of the person filming it, standing next to a big burning tank like that, no.
In Israel after being hit by rocket fire.
Look at his face. Wonder how much they pay this guy. How much do you make, Steve? Is it going to be enough shekels to keep you out of hell? I hope not. I hope so for you. I mean, sorry, I got to make sure I word that correctly. Why can't I see this? That zoomed in? Okay. Sorry, everybody. This is just, we got to look at this stuff. And then, so he goes to the maps and shows you, like, look at the beautiful coast here, everybody. Like, you want to believe that they're doing this here.
A mile or two of the nasty targets that are closer to the Gaza, huge Tel Aviv area.
What?
But about an hour and a half ago, there was a huge, enormous, perhaps unprecedented launch of rockets at the Tel Aviv area. And some of the rockets...
Again, that's 39 miles, okay, from here to here.
Rockets struck hit the ground, and there has been damage reported and at least one death reported from that rocket strike.
Killed
but these
people.
new rocket sirens are going off in Kisufim and Ein Hashlosha.
Like, how could anyone want to live in any of these towns if this was real?
So we'll see if we hear any reporting
Right?
about that.
I wouldn't. I would move the heck out of there. I'd be gone, right? Oh, they're allowed to shoot rockets at us? No, they have Mossad people living there that are part of the script. Come on, where's the good stuff? I want to see that barrage. Does he have the barrage? Did someone film the barrage, Jason? Is that the pictures that you had? What's this? This is just more of that nonsense fireworks stuff, probably from a different angle. Same shot, right? Right? Everyone freak out. Oh, look at this. Here's some rockets. Here we go. I'll turn this up. Let's zoom in on this. We got the money, Jay. You ready?
That.
You ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
I think this is posted by Aurora Intel. I think maybe what you see is this is from Gaza. So these would be the outgoing rockets here.
So again, like I told you off the beginning, what they do is they show you two different clips. The one clip you're going to see is supposedly them intercepting the rockets, and then they flash. Now we're in Gaza, right?
Those would be the outgoing rockets, and then...
Whoa! Did you see that? Come on, Steve. What happened with your... Can I slow this down? I can't zoom in and slow it down. That sucks. But, or you know what I can do? I can navigate with the period symbol. Or is that not going to work now?
Or Intel. I think maybe what you see is this is from Gaza.
Look at these rockets go. That's interesting. Watch these, Jason. Are you watching?
Yeah, I'm watching.
We're just moving through one frame at a time. So all of a sudden, they all... Oh, there they go. Oh, what happened there? I don't know. There's something going on with these rockets. I don't even know if that's real. You see that bursts? You see those? What that? What, yeah. They're gone.
It's a barrage.
See that? They had, like, come on. You see the thing warping here? Look. It's not waving like that. Oh, they're shooting hundreds of them, right? And they're aimed.
Just wait until you see how they aim these things. You're gonna love it, brother.
Let's play that again in regular speed for the ladies and gentlemen on the other side of the screen.
Outgoing rockets, and then that would be the anti-rocket Iron Dome interceptors being fired in Tel Aviv in the distance against those
in Tel Aviv, 39 miles away.
Coming.
Look at her. You're on the big screen, Steve. Welcome. So what is he showing us here? Are we getting a measurement? This guy. I can't believe this guy.
There's Bethel.
Bethel? Jason.
That's on the other side of it. But he's saying that they're hearing booms over here.
Oh, now they're shooting to Bethel. I'd like to measure that from the Gaza Strip to Bethel. I'd like to know how far that is.
There's Bethlehem. That's on the other side of Israel from Gaza. So again, Seth.
So they got long range bombs, rockets, right? Smuggled in. You guys saw the walls, right? The walls that are surrounding the entire city that you can't get through.
Franzman says, we can hear large booms in southern Jerusalem. He's in southern Jerusalem. And he says,
I don't know. I know that, what's this? I know that, times.
Jerusalem. I saw also details about Acre. I might not be pronouncing that right. Nazareth, Haifa in the south. This is in
Nazareth, eh? Wow.
Who fired it? That seems likely.
Oh, this one. This is the one that I wanted to show everybody. Here's how you can spot a hoax, okay? I can't even believe, okay, Steve goes around talking about, lots of the time, oh, I can't share that. I can't verify that. I can't verify that.
I didn't vet that. It's not from an authoritative source.
Yeah, I just can't show it because I really don't know if it's real, he'll say, right? But here we go. This is evidence of some kind of a rocket attack. Now, you guys watch. We're going to watch together. You heard a loud pop. A guy laughing. Well, then boom, there was an explosion. And a cut. Let's go back to the cut. I don't know if I saw the cut that time. Did you see the cut?
A bunch of different posts of this. I believe this is legit. Video on the ground from Holon, just south of Tel Aviv, when a Hamas rocket struck a bus on the street. I don't know for sure if it was Hamas who fired it. That seems likely.
Wow. You know what's really interesting? It's really interesting is that when Jason and I went through this stream last night, there was a cut there, right? Remember, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
You specifically remember me showing you the cut, saying, come in here and look at the cut. Now, that cut has been replaced with an explosion into a live stream that Steve did. Look at that. Right there. They CGI'd in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the cut was. Right here. Look, you see that explosion now? Boom. Boom. That is absolutely CGI. This guy's laughing. The cameraman moved, but this guy's standing here laughing. He didn't move. He didn't even flinch. Look. What? Is that a building right here? Look at this. Can you guys see this? Here, I'll zoom in more. Want to see some horrible CGI? Watch. You see that right there? Boom. Or is that just in the dark? Right here. I'll put my pointer on it. See where my pointer is? Boom. You see that? There's now like a street pole there. I'll go back one click. Oh, went too far. Unbelievable. Right there. Like a whole block appears. Is this the edge of a building here? A building, a building, a building. You see that? Am I the only one who sees that? There's no building there. There's a building there. There's no building there. There's a building there. And an explosion. Boom. Then the explosion. This is Hollywood in Israel. Look, no building. Boom. A street light in a building. No building. Boom. A street light in a building. Okay? So everyone just watched live. I went to a spot in the video where I wanted to show everybody a cut where Jason and I pointed out last night this can't be verified as evidence now because there's a cut in it. Now today, where that cut was, there's now a CGI'd city scene with an explosion. I don't know if they heard me saying it or if somebody was like, hey, you guys forgot to add the explosion. Because it started back right here. It went from this scene, the guy laughing. You remembered it, right, Jason?
Yeah. You pointed it out to me, and I was like, yeah, that was such a retarded PSYOP piece because there was nothing to it.
Mm-hmm. There was a cut, and then like people running down the street. It's incredible though that they've got the cut scene now, and the explosion and the shrapnel sounds. So that's an interesting catch. I'm glad I got to show everybody that. I'd like someone to explain to me what happened there if they could. What do we have? More rockets? There's the barrage again, right? Wow, look at all of them, right? So this is another view from Gaza.
And those are the interceptors.
Oh, so they're shooting the rockets off from this street, and the interceptors are shooting off from this street? Does anyone see a problem in that?
See, that's the rockets being launched, and those are...
Yeah, the problem is that the rockets are actually dying off right here. Their plumes are going away. You can't see them anymore because they don't have any rocket fuel left. It's just a firework. Look, here they go. They just disappear, 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 disappear. It's.
And those are the interceptors. See that?
This is what he's showing. I wonder is there a shot with this live? Do you see his thumbnail?
I don't know.
We have destroyed more than 500 targets, and we will go on with a wide and extensive attack, says the IDF. Just catch that for real quick. Was there better shots, or is that pretty much it? Like, I can't believe that last scene. The other place I ever saw a live stream edited was NASA. One time they did a rocket launch, and when the rocket was coming back down to land, the cameras, there was dual cameras that were supposedly showing both sides of the rocket. It was the same camera. No, it was 2 rocket blasters coming down. SpaceX. And the 2 cameras were of the same rocket. And then the next day or a couple of days later, they actually had the other rocket's camera in place of that live stream with all the chat beside. Like everyone knows, if you edit this live stream, chat disappears. You don't have this. What we both saw an edited part of Steve's live stream, and it was really badly edited. Then we get these shots, right, of them blowing up. The report was used by Hamas. They blew up something.
Coming down. It's kind of hard to see.
See, this I actually believe. They've got stuff that they can fly, like helicopter. Can fly up here with a camera, with a gimbal underneath it. It's zoomed in on this. And they like, they could throw, heavy uranium depleted rounds or, shells. They can project them at these buildings and blow them up. Yes. Right, Jason? I agree they have that.
Bombs.
They do.
You can drop a bomb.
Right? They can do that. I don't know how much more. It's just crazy what they show. He was trying to say that that bus was blown up in Tel Aviv. Right? Way away.
There's so much to cover with this. Let's cover the launchers quick.
If you got it, you're ready to go.
All right.
That was pretty much all I had. I can't believe the one clip I wanted to show the cutscene and actually had the explosion CGI'd in. That's hilarious, IDF. You guys are hilarious. Oh, that just made my night. It really did. Let me get you ready to present. Oh, man, I can't believe that. And you are good to go. Nominal.
So all I did is type into Google Gaza rocket launches. I wanted launchers, but I don't want like the shoulder fired ones. I want the ones that they're supposedly launching these rockets from. And this is it. All right. Well, take a close look at this. Open image, a new tab.
Yeah, it's large. That's a little better. I'm starting to see more of the image now.
So this is how they make them. They got the 2 rails here, and they've got stakes on the front that you can push down into the sand, and then they've got 4 stakes on the back on this back thing, and then they just, I guess, step it into the ground or use a sledgehammer, and this is all welded. All right, so this is how you adjust the angle that you launch it from. Right, this is a set angle. It does look like there's a hinge here, so you can adjust the pitch of it a little bit. But then here's a rocket. All right, so you have a different color paint on the nose of it. Apparently this is important. They all seem to be this way. And then it's so people know which end is which, apparently. And so then you have your sewer pipe here. Nice big heavy, like this is nice thick heavy. It's probably 1/4-inch metal. This is probably super heavy. Then you've got your plate steel back here that you can see, like there's one tack weld holding this fin on. It's not even welded all the way down. The back of this fin looks like super bent already. Like this is curled around. This one's straight. And then you've got some, like an angled piece of cone metal sticking out of the rear end of this. But this is launchers. This one must be set up for longer distance. You can see that the legs are spread out a little bit farther. It's not so quite straight up. If we come back here and after clicking on this picture, it's showing me other pictures like it. So this seems to be the standard method of how they launch these rockets. These are their launchers. This is smaller rockets, right? These are the nice red and green ones that have the writing on it, and but same style of launcher, really the same thing. This is what the nozzle looks like. And look at these welds here. All right, I've got a welder and I do a lot of welding. Well, not a lot, but a fair amount. And I'm a better welder than whoever tacked these fins on here. Much better. And those are just a couple of tacks.
Is that supposedly rocket exploded into the ground? Is he throwing a rocket? Wow, that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
So that's dug into the ground supposedly, and nothing blew up. Like what?
Right.
It's like a dart.
It's a chunk of metal. It's a chunk of metal. Heavy. It's nice, thick, heavy metal. I don't know about the efficiency. Here's some guys carrying one. This one's got a little bit nicer paint job on it and nice silver tip with metal rods sticking out of it. But I guess they're going to carry this over and set it on one of these launchers. Here's the smaller ones. Now, notice the paint job. Like, how long have these things been rattling around in the back of this guy's pickup truck before they set them up on this launcher? If this is supposedly what they're launching and, you know, blowing things up and doing damage with, wouldn't they be a little bit more careful? I mean, these things have really rolled around in the back of the pickup truck for a while. Their decals are all scratched and paint job just looks terrible on them now.
It's such a joke. I'm sorry.
So here's the guys in mass setting them up, putting them into their rocket launchers. Here, so these, when we were seeing those batteries of them, this must be how they have them set up. They set them on here on their slides. How do they launch them? Do they have to go behind it with like a big lighter and light a fuse? Right. Here's IDF confirms failed Gaza rocket attack didn't reach Israel. So here's one of their rockets. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, new tab. So this is the material that they make those necklaces out of and sell to Israelis, where they can say that they have a rocket jewelry. Right, rocket jewelry. If anybody doesn't understand that this is a PSYOP, I'm a bit worried about them. What else do we have here?
Well, we could do a part 2 to this too, you know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, because we're at that 10 o'clock time. We could maybe hold the stream right here. And what we can do, if we go into this stream again, is we can then show people what rockets actually do, right? And compare them to this type of stuff. You can just keep the link. Right? Because we barely scratched the surface on this topic. And there's probably more that we can look into as well with the Psyops, right? But unfortunately, I guess I took up too much time on my section. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm kidding. We talked a lot.
There's just a lot to cover. Look at these trails here.
Yeah, that's
Come
just
on
nonsense.
Now. This is.
Come on.
Where is it? How do I open the image?
Yeah, we'll be back again. It's Wednesday. We'll be back Friday. We can cover this more. Hopefully we can get a little buzz happening. People share this stream and other people find out, hey, there's a different narrative going on. We better check it out. And hopefully we can come back with some more information for everybody.
All right. So it should just be obvious to a person that this picture isn't really possible. So these white streaks, I guess one's supposed to assume that the camera moved. Right, they moved the camera during this, and so the light moved around and left this pattern, but it's not the same pattern on each one. And then the rockets aren't wiggled at all. Right, so this is supposed to be a long exposure picture. taking something at night. You get the streaks on the street lights, not the same pattern, and no wiggle lines
That's
on
fake.
the rocket. So
Clearly hoaxed. Clearly.
clearly
But like I said, we've got to go back into this topic and take a deeper look into what's really going on here. Right?
Nope.
Hopefully everybody enjoyed the podcast. Let's do a part 2, right? War is a hoax. We'll come up with a clever title. And we'll get back into this topic again. And if anybody has any links that they want to share, please leave a comment below. Jason, thank you tonight for your pointing out of this rocket fuel. And thank you. You got the last words.
Yeah, we'll do some more rocket stuff. There's a lot to debunk in rockets. Don't believe the hype, everybody. There's wars and rumors of wars, and what we're seeing right now is strictly a rumor. But at some point, there is going to be a real one. So we'll keep our eyes open, and till next time, probably Friday.